favorite irons this week are the Titleist AP1 712s. They're game improvement irons, but at address they really don't look like game improvement irons. They're not big, bulky, blocky. They have a fairly thick top line, but it's masked well by the brushed steel finish.
The irons had a combination of a lot of things that I look for in irons. One, really good feel. Two, the performance was real consistent. You know, most people, whenever you hit an irons, you're not looking to hit it the longest, you're just looking to hit it to the distance that you want to hit it.
These irons are just incredibly forgiving for their size. I can hit it off the toe, I can hit it off the heel, I can hit it low on the face, and I'm going to have very little dispersion because of it. Couple that with the feel that I get from a well-struck ball with these irons, and it's almost exactly what I'm looking for. It's cushiony, but it's responsive. It lets me know where on the face I've hit it, but it doesn't penalize my hands by too much vibration. It allows any player to go out and hit a lot of balls on the range before a round without getting tired. You can shape the ball with it. You can bring the ball flight down. They're just almost perfect irons.
Like with bigger cavity back irons, you'll get sort of a vague feel on impact, whereas with these irons, you tend to feel, you know, minute differences whenever you miss it a little bit. But probably the best thing is whenever you hit it well. It's just a great feeling.
My favorite irons this week were the Mizuno PX825 Pros. They have a very classic, sleek, traditional design. Mizuno kind of moved into the game improvement space, I guess over the course of the last 10 years or so. And I was never really thrilled with their offering. But this particular model, the PX825 Pros, were a perfect fit for my game. You have a relatively small club face with some assistance in terms of getting the ball airborne and forgiving low miss hits. A lot of the equipment we use in the game improvement area is a little bit restrictive, so it tries to correct or cover up any misses. These only do it in a subtle way, so it allows you some freedom to hit, you know, different types of shots.
In a world of game improvement irons, this is actually much better or much more geared towards the better player, particularly in the shorter scoring irons. Easily as forgiving as any other game improvement clubs, but an order of magnitude more accurate. And the feel itself was really that true Mizuno feel of the past. Clubs that I probably could never play simply because they were too hard to hit are now much more within my reach as a mid-handicapper. Historically, the Mizuno feel is known as one of the best in the game. From their blades even through their cavity back clubs, the forged head has a feel and impact that's like no other. Good golfers, even bad golfers who've hit these clubs know the difference between a good shot and a bad shot with any Mizuno. With the JPXs, it is, you get the feeling without sacrificing the accuracy or the forgiveness.
And they had a really blade-like look to them, but they were not blades, and they really pinched the ball really well coming off the face. They were really light, easy to swing, didn't miss a lot of greens with these irons, and I just really loved the way they performed. Was able to really dial them in as far as distance control with those irons. They really landed soft on the greens when I hit them. They really performed well. I was really pleased with the way I performed with those irons.
These irons, although they're in the game improvement category, they really have a look of a player's club. They have a very thin top line. They're a forged iron. They set up so nicely behind the ball, just evoking great confidence right at address. They're very sensitive as to where you're hitting the ball on the face of the club. They provide excellent feedback. The greatest part about these irons is that when you do mishit it, they just seem to have a lot of forgiveness to them in that even the off-center hits from a distance perspective, you only lose about 10 yards of distance is what I found.
I'm not a huge Adams fan, I haven't been, but the ball flight was just phenomenal, and I absolutely love the clubs. I think that they were very soft, they're very forgiving. Everything I asked them to do, they did for me. Ball flies high, it lands soft on the greens. I think that the forged face is really forgiving. And then the long irons, the 3, 4, and 5 are hybrid, so they're very easy to hit, they're very easy to get airborne, and they're straight. that's what we all want.
My favorite irons for the week were the Callaway X Hot. They're in the game improvement category. They're, I think, a little bit more towards the better player end of that category. So they look a little bit smaller, they have a little more feel to them. I found, for me, performance-wise, that I could do everything I wanted with the clubs. I could control the trajectory, I could hit a draw, I could hit a fade, I could hit it high, I could hit it low. They were forgiving, they were accurate, and pretty much everything I'd be looking for in an iron set.
And the reason that I like them is because I could hit them comfortably. Every shot I wanted to play, I could play with those irons. Whether I wanted to hit the ball long, short, hit it high, hit it low, whatever I wanted to do with those irons, I could do. When I first looked at them, they looked a little thick to me. Then I set them down and they looked just like forged irons. They're really super to hit. Mostly it was a combination of distance and spin around the green. I could hold the green. I had one shot from a par 5 where I had about 150 yards, and I smoked a 7-iron to about 10 feet. And I said, I like these.